Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right. Welcome, Warriors, Will Patriots, and my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of the Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Wasn't that one hell of an introduction? I love that intro, but changes are coming to LWN. I'm going to announce that later tonight. War Machine does a fabulous job. I know it's 10 minutes long, and I know a lot of you say, why is it so long? Well, we've built up to almost 900 people now. So it gives everybody a chance to get here. The show does not start until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you choose not to have to listen to the intro and join in chat, don't click on until 8 o'clock. Otherwise, the rest of us like to jam out, rock out, and we get excited for the show. This is one and only LWN, and we do it right each and every time. Listen, I got two very special guests tonight. They're both pilots. I've had them on Podbean. Some of you may have caught them. Some of you may have not. Thank you so much for all the coffees, folks. I'm going to go ahead and save those for the end of the show to tell you guys thank you for that. And I'll read your messages. I just got a lot going on right now, and I have to pay attention to the guests, and I have to pay attention to some hints that I'm going to drop for you guys on what the news is for tonight. I'm so excited. Do me a favor. If you guys love LWN, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, but you enjoy watching it, please subscribe so that you get the notifications. Hit that notification bell so that as breaking news happens, you guys get notified and can check us out. I know some people are complaining that their notifications are not happening. Well, you may have to unsubscribe and resubscribe because unfortunately, YouTube likes to do that. So most importantly for tonight, with this big news, I really need to get the message out tonight. If you guys can share this everywhere you possibly can. If you're on Facebook, share it out. If you're on YouTube, share it out. If you happen to catch us later on Rumble, share it out. Rumble's starting to grow a little bit. We are up to almost 6,500 subscribers on Facebook. So that's awesome. You guys are helping us out. Smash the like button, subscribe, and share this out. All right. With that being said, like I said, thank you so much for all the coffees. I'm going to get to those at the end, but I want to bring out my special guests because they have a lot to talk about tonight. And I think it's important for us to pay attention to what these two gentlemen have to share with us. And then we'll ask some questions. So let's bring out Jeff and the captain from the airlines, these two pilots. How are you doing this evening, gentlemen?
I'm doing well, Mike. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
absolutely.
How are to interrupt you there?
Well, we got a little bit of a buffer there, but that's all right. We'll get through it tonight. So what I'd like to do is I think we agreed to Jeff leading off tonight. I'm going to just step back for a moment and let Jeff go. And then Captain, if you want to step in and add to that and put out your own information, and I'll just pay attention and write down some questions that I can, so I don't interrupt you guys, and I'll write down the questions and ask them to you somewhere along the way here. But I know we have a little bit of a gap here in our conversation, so I just don't want to be rude and talk over you guys. So Jeff, thanks for being here this evening, Captain. Thank you. And we'll just go ahead and get started with the conversation so we can get to the end, which is the end of your guys' story, which I think there's some good news for everybody to pay attention to. And then we'll put out some good news ourselves. So go ahead there, Jeff.
All right. Well, the last time you had me on, we were discussing the TSA order, the exemptions that the pilots were using, the 6153, which is the federal for pilots. And we were all standing up against the government saying that you have no authority, and pilots are the only ones and the final authority to dictate and decide whether or not we are fit. So as everybody knows and is aware, there's the 9 pilots that are suing the CDC, that lawsuit. That got filed several months ago, and is that we are relying on the legal system here to take action for us. They are trying to grind us down at every turn. So a perfect example is what we've got. The first thing the government did was make a motion to dismiss it as if we had nothing to, and they cited the fact that the Tampa court ruled in our favor that vacated the mask mandate. And that was back in April, on April 18th, when Tampa said, nope, this is completely out of bounds. They acted way outside their authority, and so they can't do it. Well, lo and behold, shortly on the heels of that, another ruled and said, no, wait, they can do that. So there's a little bit of a gridlock in the legal system. So the defendants look at our case and they say, hey, judge, let's put a stay on this, courts to decide which one is right. But the problem with that is we address specific to pilots and pilots only, because It talks about our medical certificate, grandma and grandpa on the back of the plane should be wearing masks. It's whether or not we're fit for duty. An airport or spend countless hours under a mask, suffocating, creating deficiencies, detrimental, and put us in peril and put everybody on the aircraft in peril. That's not addressed by a judge. We want them to look at that and look at the F3 exemption directive that says persons for whom wearing a mask would create a risk to workplace self or job duty. And the federal regulation, this one on my shirt, 6153 federal regulation, that says you pilots cannot go fly if you know or have reason medical deficiency that would disqualify your medical certificate. And that authority is given to the pilots. The airlines can't tell us when to fly. The FAA can't tell us when to fly, to wear a Band-Aid. That's how restrictive it is. And so for them all of a sudden to say, see here, don't worry about it. We get rid of the mask mandate. So let's just wait and see what happens there in terms of the court decision. And we are forcing a judge to review this perspective from that optic with respect to pilots and the authority we have over our security of the aviation industry.
Let me step in here real quick before I let the captain comment on this. I want to get everybody caught up because some of you may have not heard the podcast when I had Jeff and the captain on. So what was going on was during the mask mandates, they were requiring pilots to comply. And so in the pilot's toolbox, you would say, they have the final say when it comes down to their health and their ability to operate this equipment. They exceed all other authorities out there, and they have to pass a physical. They also have to on a little card before each flight, not before the day, but if I understand this correctly, if they fly from Boise, Idaho to Texas, and then from Texas to Florida, and then Florida to Michigan, every time they fly, they have to sign a card that states that they are aware of all of their health issues and abilities, and they are fit for duty. They're signing off on that. So it's their ass. It's the pilot's ass once they sign that card that, hey, I'm fit for duty. So what the argument is that it's proven. The science is there. If they have the face covering on, it lowers their oxygen. It can cause certain health issues or concerns. And so certain pilots are saying, hey, I'm not going to be liable for this. This is wrong. You guys are breaking the law. You're breaking the rules, the airline rules and things like that. In a nutshell, that's basically where we left off on the last conversation. Is they were explaining these rules for us. They were explaining their physicals that they have to go through and the things that they have to sign in order to fly. And so these guys are standing up. They're standing up against tyranny. They're letting their voices be heard. They filed lawsuits. Some of them have been suspended and have been fighting this for quite a while, like the captain. So I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up that maybe haven't heard the story about why you guys are in this fight, what's causing it, and where we kind of left off the last time. Captain, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. It's just like Jeff said, it is really critical for a pilot authority over the decisions they make, he or she makes on a daily or a minute by minute basis, fit to fly the airplane. And that's something that the companies have any over, and that's where that F3 exemption, they recognize that under the jurisdiction of the FAA, they can make those changes, and in that security directive F3 exemption. Now, the company before the order came out, most of the company policy, their own mask policy, objected the pilots to, as well as the past buddy.
Hey, Captain,
So
you're breaking up. You're breaking up really, really bad. I'm only getting like every other word.
oh,
Are you
really?
having the same problem? Are you having the same problem on your end there, Jeff?
I can't. Yeah, he chops up quite a bit.
Yeah, you're chopping up so bad. I don't think we're actually getting any of the conversation.
Uh,
Let me.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to see if it's getting any better there. Let's go back to Jeff real
okay.
quick, and then we'll come back to you, Captain, and see
Mike?
if we can.
How about?
Yeah, that's better.
Now? Is that better?
That's better. Go ahead.
Okay, you know what?
Go ahead. You sound good now.
Okay. All right. So let me back up a little bit and say what I said earlier. It is really, really important. What we're doing is protecting the authority of the pilot over decisions they make relating to their health, and which directly affects their medical certificate that's issued to them. Some pilots every 6 months, some every once a year. But the bottom line is anything that affects that medical certificate is under the jurisdiction of the FAA and the authority of the pilot. So these companies, all these airlines have created a policy well before the mask mandate came out. And with their policy, they believed, and I believe wrongly so, that they have authority to dictate to the pilots how to maintain their FAA medical certificate. Now, once the mandate came out, they just transitioned to the other language that the mandate has, but yet they did not change any of the policies that they themselves created. Now, they did all that without having any authority whatsoever. On top of that, they didn't conduct any studies to see whether, to determine whether those, the masking, what kind of deficiencies the masks create that would affect the health of the pilots. And that is critical because those deficiencies that are not determined and or studied for short, medium, or long-term effects need to be looked at. And the FAA really dropped the ball there. They didn't do that either. And they did not give the companies authority over the FAA issued medical certificates for the pilots. So they're all making their own laws, basically, their own rules and regulations. And they're forcing the pilots to submit to their will, if you will, all because they really wanted the people to come back to fly. And that was the main driving reason for them to create these policies. And they actually wanted it. I mean, they told me, hey, if you're facing the people, we want you to put a mask on. It doesn't matter whether it's good for you, bad for you, we don't care. We want you to put the mask on because we want everybody to see you with the mask on, so they follow.
Yeah.
They follow you, and they put the mask on. So it's a business or a political decision, if you will, that they embarked on. And as you know, Mike, that I refused, and in my case, the police were called, and I still stood my ground, and there was no way I was going to put the mask on. It was very early in the morning. I had to make critical decisions, and I was not about to create a deficiency that has not been determined by the FAA. So forget about it. I'm not going to do it. And so since that day, and that was December 6, 2021, I've been hammered by the company. And to that end, I have not flown since then. And what they are trying to do right now is conduct what I'm calling a corporate hit job. They're trying to paint me as the only person who interprets the regulation the way I'm reading it, the only person who interprets an exemption issued by the government, the way I'm reading it,
Hmm.
and they just want to get rid of me. Somehow they want to shut me up. And at the expense of the rest of my career, as a matter of fact, I'm standing my ground. I will not budge. No way. I am very determined. With the help of Jeff. Jeff and I became we're from two different airlines, and we experienced the same deal with the TSA, and we became real good friends. I mean, he's like a brother to me, and we are determined to put it in concrete that the pilot is the final authority in that determination, and nobody can take that away from us. And they just don't like that, because if they prevail, then what's next?
Absolutely.
What is next after that?
Absolutely.
Right?
Let
Now,
me
I remember,
let me
I wanna-
say this. Let me say this just real
Yes.
quick. So I'm considered an influencer because I have the capability of
Okay.
talking to a large audience. I give my opinions an awful lot, and people sometimes listen to my opinion. In your case, as two pilots, you guys are also influencers, and I want to make this clear to the audience. Um, Trying to force or convince a pilot like the captain here and Jeff both to put on a mask, even if it doesn't matter. So, did you hear what he said? So other people would see it and follow. So that's no different when this all started breaking out. When you started seeing politicians wear them, like Hills Up Kamala Harris, the Hollywood elite would be out there wearing them. Why is that? It is because they wanted to use their power of influence over the masses so they'd all step in line and follow. But these two gentlemen, these two patriots said, no, that's not going to happen on my watch. There's no science backing it, and I don't feel like this is the right decision. And so they both joined together with other pilots, and they're standing up saying, no, not on my watch. And like the captain has said before on the show, it doesn't matter what happens to me. I'm not going to follow suit. So I just want to say thank you. I've seen a lot of it in the chat as well. Thank you so much for both of you gentlemen for standing up for what's right. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, Mike. Thank you. What I want to say, I mean, I'm not. I'll be direct. I'm doing this because of me, because who I am, what I stand for, and for my family, for my kids. So, and that's really what everybody needs to think about. I'm not doing it for Jeff. I mean, I love Jeff, but I'm not doing it for him. But I understand that he and I are on the same page, 100%. And whatever he does, I benefit from. Whatever I do, he benefits from. But we're all on the same page. We know that we want to protect our authority over our medical, and we're not going to give up on that. And that's basically where I stand and where Jeff stands. And every pilot should follow suit, I believe.
Jeff, you want to get
Jeff,
in
you
here?
want to?
I was just waiting because I know with the audio, I didn't want to chime in when he's talking and have a glitch. Thanks for that. Like he said, I'm not doing it for me. I'm not after notoriety or fame or anything like that. My kids, I've got 5 kids, and I want them to grow up in a country that I used to know, rented and stolen from us right now. There's no way. That's no way to live. And so this is back. It's our civic duty to do these types of things. It's part of the concept from the beginning of this country. It was founded on the fact that we have a right to redress. The government for redress to grievances. It's right there in writing. You don't have to go very far to find. The more people that wake up to this, rather than just going around, I've seen comments of people driving in a car by themselves wearing a mask, and I look at them, I laugh, and I say, "Don't get yourself." I mean, it's comical, but that's how ingrained people have become because of seeing people people in positions, the brainwashing and the propaganda has been over 2 years now. And people can't step outside of that and say, wait a minute, without this mask to this point. They need to be critical thinkers that in this nation. People are not critical thinkers anymore. They're just going along their flow. So by taking this stand and standing up, right now in terms of influencing people in the cockpit like we used to by not wearing the mask platform. And I really appreciate you offering this to us so that we can continue to push the word.
Absolutely.
It's not over. It's far from over. And that's what I was getting at when I saw them. They want to just delay, make us forget about things because they know eventually there's going to be so much distance between the vaccines that they're going to say, well, we don't know why that happened. And people will believe it. They're creating all of these things, and they're going to drive in different directions and these things that we've seen before, and people are going to get duped once again. But folks that are in our different movements, in our groups. There are a lot of awakened patriots out there fighting back, but everybody has to fight back. You can't just say, oh, well, I guess I'll just wear a little. It's be an absolute. Because once you acquiesce and you tacitly agree to that, that's how they win.
I agree with you, Jeff. You're breaking up a little bit there too, but I want to come back to the captain there. So many people, and I'm putting it up on screen, absolutely support you guys 100%, and they're so they're just so grateful to have patriots like you who will step up, and so many people in chat, so many people watching the show tonight. They have in some little way also joined you guys in this fight. When I lived in North Dakota, I wouldn't put those things on either. So all of us together as patriots, as Americans, have stood up to this tyranny in one way or another. Whether it's just a little thing here, or maybe trying to educate somebody there. I think everybody listening tonight and everybody watching tonight can definitely relate to you guys in some little way. A lot of people, have issues even at their own jobs, where they had to fight those situations. And then you guys, being able to come on here and tell us, hey, you're not the only ones in the battle. We're here too, fighting for the airlines. And we talked about the lawsuits. We talked about they're starting to become more and more flight attendants that are also getting into this battle, into the fight. And I think there are first responders out there that are going through the same thing, and they're fighting. And there's just so many of us out there. And I think what we need to do here at LWN is just start getting everybody connected so that it's not just one or two, it's many. And we can all lean on one another and help one another, encourage one another. And if there is a time where we have to stand up together and protest, then at least it's not just you two, it's millions of us behind you.
That's exactly the idea. I'll talk a little slower now and me up. Maybe speaking too quickly, it was skipping. But that's exactly, there were freedom flyer groups initially started by the airlines. All airlines have, each airline with its own employees that collectively came together and said this. How do we fight back? How do we tell the company that this is unacceptable? Why? And eventually all these morphed into bigger organizations. I know people have heard of Freedom Flyers. There's one for every airline. And now there's another group, and it's called Move Freely America.org, and a conglomeration of first responders, airline industry. It can be anybody, or is people that are patriots willing to fight and do their civic duty. We have presented right now, we're pushing people into legislation at the state level, people to get engaged at the state level, because that's the power in the Constitution. And when the states stand up against the tyranny of government, like it is written in the Constitution, we reclaim this republic. But it has to start at the bottom with we, the people, are asleep, then there's not going to be any action. Everybody thinks that some person or some entity is going to step up and handle all of this for us. I don't personally believe in. It has to be one body of all the people of this great river. And in fact, it's going to be one people of the world. If you pay attention to what's happening around, everybody has to stand up to this tyranny wherever it's taking place and bond together as a human race, and to see that we are good, that we aren't put on one another. Everybody is inherently good. And if we can focus on that, matter of time, I mean, quicker than everybody wants, by sitting back and waiting for us, we need to take the bull by the horns. And that's what Moog is going to do. Go there, get engaged, see how you can help.
Absolutely, Jeff. And you're right when you say that this isn't just an American problem, it's a world problem, and so many others are standing up. We're seeing governments topple right now. We're seeing the collapse in many countries around the world. A lot of it is economic, but really people are just sick and tired of what's been going on for the last 18 months, and they're standing up for their rights. And some of them have less rights than us. Some of them are not protected. They're really putting themselves out there and putting a target on their back. But you know what? It's time to quit being afraid. It's time to step up. I believe I got it from the captain when I first met him. And he was on Podbean with me, and we were talking, and he alluded to it just a little bit ago. He said, I'm not doing this for Jeff. I'm not doing this for Mike. I'm not doing this for anybody other than myself and my family, my kids. And I believe it was you, Captain, that said, listen, nobody's going to stand up for your rights other than yourself. And that's what I remember you telling me 6 months ago, or however long it's been since the last time you've been on Podbean with me. And that resonated with me. That really resonated with me. No one else is going to stand up for your rights except for yourself. Go ahead, Captain.
That's correct. And it's lonely out there when you're the one beating the path. But that's okay. And if you remember, Mike, we were talking about you can't have any fear. Okay? And this is how they control you. They make you fear what's coming next. If you don't have fear, you're free. And then you can act, and you can be very, very effective. I've made the decision to fight back, and I'm free. I feel extremely free. I don't care if I get terminated, because I feel free, and I feel that I can come back tenfold at them, and I will prevail. I will win. But along the same lines, I don't know if you remember, Jeff, early on, the airlines were allowing us to print out a letter with the airline title at the very top with a letterhead, and it classified us as essential employees. So when we went to certain areas where there were lockdowns, we could just move about freely because we are essential employees. Well, I tell you what, everybody in America is essential right now.
Yes.
We need everybody because everybody is essential. And no matter how minor your act is, it's essential. You really have to take action. Simply just not complying with what they want you to do is a great way to start. Perfect. Just do it. Simple. Doesn't hurt. And shed that fear. Remember, Mike, I was saying shed that fear. I think that's what I said. Shed the fear, because That's how you're free. You can be very powerful. And as a matter of fact, because of that, in my case, and it's only because it's personal, and I'm going through it myself right now. I have filed a lawsuit against the airline, and as well as against my union, for the very simple reason they just don't have the authority to control my decisions over my medical certificate. And they're doing their utmost to get rid of me, and they just can't. It's just, like I said, they're resorting to a corporate hit job, and that's even that is failing. They just can't do it. Simply because I have no fear. I move steady and just don't worry about it. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? They can't win. There's no way they can win. So steady as she goes, have no fear, and take action. Everybody in this country needs to do that because, and I think I've mentioned this before, everybody's looking up to America. Everybody in the world is looking up to America, and I'm surprised that some other nations are actually taking, people in other nations are taking action, and we're just sitting idle. I'm not talking about taking action by way of violence or anything like that. No, that's exactly what they want you to do. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to be smart, because they were very smart. They were extremely smart. I give them credit. They were extremely smart in slipping all this through the back door. They found a way to be in every position to control the outcome. So what we need to do, we have to be just as smart. We need to use our brains to beat them. And the only way to do it is we got to play their game. And that's how we can do it. But everybody needs to do something. We are all essential. And that's really what I truly, truly believe.
That's awesome. I just want to say thanks to Travis. He's streaming us on TikTok again tonight, just so the pilots here know we're being streamed on TikTok as well. So welcome to those of you who are watching us on Travis's TikTok. Welcome to LWN. And you're right, we got to outthink these buggers. And we can. It's really they're not they're not geniuses by any stretch of the word. What I find strange is, thank God for Roe v. Wade being overturned, but yet the protesters come out and they start screaming, "My body, my choice." Okay, well, that's your right. But where was my body, my choice? Where were you in the fight when it was my body, my choice? When they tried to force me to put that nasty thing on my face, or worse, take that thing in the shoulder. So you can't have it both ways. If it's my body, my choice for your cause, then you have to be my body, my choice for my cause. And I think you guys being on the front lines of that and letting everybody know that, hey, we are responsible for our own actions, and it's critical for us to have my body, my choice, so that I make the best decisions when it comes to my health. And these machines that you guys fly, it's not as easy as pushing a start button and then popping the clutch and away we go. I mean, there is technicality to it. There's years of schooling and continuing education. I'm sure aeronautics changes yearly, and you guys are always having to keep up with the latest radar and the latest this and the latest that. And sometimes it's not just one pilot. I mean, you fly the big machines, and it's a pilot, a co-pilot, and I don't know, some of the bigger ones have a navigator or something, and then you've got all the airline stewardess that work with you as well as a team. So you're responsible for every. I want people to realize this. They're responsible for every soul on board. What does that mean? Well, a soul is what's on the inside of us, and if something was to happen, then those souls are lost. Some of them more likely go to heaven. But I'm just saying, that's a huge responsibility on your gentleman's shoulders, operating that equipment. So you guys want to function at 100% all the time. You don't want a reduction in oxygen. You don't want any of this other stuff that they're constantly trying to shove down our throat and force us to comply with. So I'm a strong believer, and I will not comply, and I do not consent. And I think I won't talk for either one of you, but I'm pretty sure you guys probably would find both of those comments being very true.
I do.
They are right on.
And
They are right on. But what I want to do, what I want to say, Mike, is that you mentioned that a lot of things in aviation change and technologies improve and so forth. There's one thing that does not change, and that is physiology. It does not change. A pilot's physiology behaves the same. So you really have to have control of the as a pilot, you have to have control over those decisions that you make that would make you fit for duty or not. And I'm talking about on a daily basis, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe. If you deprive your body of certain essentials, then you are really creating a hazardous situation, because things can happen at any minute. For example, take that pilot. He's an American Airlines pilot who he's in public. He's talking about it. Lands the airplane. 6 minutes later, has a heart attack at the gate after the airplane came to a stop at the gate. Now, he did not know when that would happen. Okay, he does say that he took the shot, and I think it was J&J. I'm not certain, but and he blames it completely on that. That's the result of what he received. But that could have happened 7 minutes earlier, and the result would have been completely different. Would have been extremely dangerous. And these are the things that we as pilots have to consider every time we go to work. Hours before we go to work, we have to consider all this. Do we get enough sleep? Do we get enough exercise? Are we eating the right food? Are we, there are some who smoke. I don't smoke. There are some who drink. I don't drink. But everybody makes their own decision. Everybody is responsible. So you're right, Mike. As a captain, under certain regulation, I am responsible for anything that happens on that airplane. Whether I make the rule or not, it doesn't matter. I'm still responsible. So when the airlines say, no, you got to put a mask on, okay, they are loading me with extra responsibility that I did not sign up for. They are assigning a liability that I refuse to accept. But yet, they want you to fly the airplane. So this is where this whole thing is very, very unreasonable. It does not make sense. They want you to be responsible, but they want you to take the liability. And then they don't give you authority to make the decision. So, which in my opinion, responsibility without authority is just slavery. And that's not where we want to go. That is not where we want to go.
Jeff, you want to jump in?
yeah, I want to jump back a little bit to what Bahij, when near the beginning of all this mumbo junk, the airlines did give us that exemption letter to carry around with us. They know exactly how important we were and that we had special needs to operate. And so they didn't want us to be subject to all the other downs or restrictions that everyone else was going through, because we have to be, that's it. And the definition in the CFRs, the Code of Fit for Duty, is mentally and physiologically capable of performing flight duty level of safety. The highest level is the highest level. You can't say the highest level, And I was reading a book today about, you can go into all that has been suppressed from us, but medicine. simple medicine, but that the body, the human, can survive without water for maybe it's a week, food for 20 days, but you can't last very long without. I mean, you talk about maybe 5 minutes and you're dead. Oxygen is the essential, and people want to discount the mask and say, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. The effect is different for everybody. And that's the point of, again, the regulation that says a pilot is the only one who can determine it for duty. That mask is going to affect everybody in a different way. If it's restricting your oxygen, the one thing that you cannot survive without, your obligation and your duty to say, no, I'm not flying. Or
Yeah, you're spot on there, Jeff. Here's a question I'll ask the captain. We were under the impression, I don't know, probably in the last 2 or 3 months, it seems like, that there are a lot of airlines out there that have lifted some of these restrictions. Why are you still being segregated, in my opinion? Why are you still being segregated? I thought that the airlines started lifting a lot of these restrictions for people. Is it only certain airlines? Is it all airlines? Is it only American Airlines? Can you guys maybe give us a little bit of information on that?
Mike, are you asking about me personally, Mike?
Well, I'm saying that some of the news that came out was that airlines were going to stop mandating the mask wearing for passengers. Is that only for passengers, but the flight crew still has to? Is that only specific airlines doing that? Is it only here in America? What's the truth about that whole situation?
Well, I can tell you that at my airline, they lifted that requirement for everybody, so nobody has to wear a mask. I don't know about Jeff's. I think it's the same for all the airlines here in the United States.
Across the
And
industry,
probably more.
across the industry, after the ruling in Tampa 18th, it vacated the mask mandate, and it's purely by a lot of people out there who choose to keep wearing it. It blows me away.
Mm-hmm. So, Captain, if they've
Yes.
lifted those restrictions, are you able to go back to work, or because you're in litigation with them, they're still keeping you at a distance?
The day they lifted the mask order, the day after, I called them and I said, "Hey, I'm ready to go to work." Because, and I don't know if I mentioned that before, what they did, because of the incident that I had with the police, they put me through several hearings and put a letter in my file stating that if I basically did go to work without wearing a mask, I'd be terminated. So my solution, and to avoid conflict with the airline, was to just use my sick bank. And it was a couple months, not a lot really. And then the day the mask was defeated in Florida, I decided, okay, well, it's time to go to work. So the next day I did call them and say, "Hey, I'm ready to go to work." And then the day after that, or 2 days after that, they decided that they wanted to put me through this examination to determine whether I am fit for duty now. And it's been since April 22nd that they have not allowed me to go back to work. And since then, I filed a lawsuit against them, and we're going at it. And like I said, they're trying to do something that is really harmful to my medical certificate and my ability to fly. And that would be what I termed the corporate hit job. Now, they have not been successful so far. and they're free to do whatever they want to do. And I can't stop them, but they haven't done anything to terminate my employment. But if they do, they have no reasons, and I'm very, very confident that they would lose in the court of law. So it's like a stalemate right now.
Gotcha.
They don't want to make the move, and I've got them at bay, and I'm ready to go to work. I keep telling them, hey, I'm ready to go to work, but they refuse to send me because it's extremely important. What I'm doing is extremely, extremely important. It may sound like it's a silly issue. It's a mask. Hey, why don't you just put the mask on and go to work and get over it and all that? But it is not that. It is not the mask. It's the authority of the pilot over his medical certificate, which is extremely, extremely important. Once that is cemented, all these pilots that have been hurt by these shots have a path to possibly come after the airlines. So as you can see, it's really, really important that they shoot me down. And I'm not going to be shy advertising that I would like to have some lawyers help me out, because I'm doing this pro se. If anybody knows what pro se is, I'm filing the lawsuit myself. I'm making my arguments.
Okay.
I'm filing my documents. And the
Let
reason
me say this real quick, Captain. Let me say this real quick. To everybody listening, we've got about 1,300 people watching right now. If you guys out there can please like this video so the algorithm will go up, subscribe to LWN. More importantly, share this video out. And if any of you out there are lawyers, or if you have family members that are lawyers, or you guys know somebody that can reach out to the captain here, both gentlemen, both pilots, and help them with any kind of legal advice or even pro bono work. These guys are patriots, and they're in the fight, and they're in the very tip of the spear. So let's as patriots join together and unite tonight. Let's really try to help these two gentlemen out. Pray for them. Share the video out, like the video, reach out to any of your resources. You guys can get a hold of me through the website, libertywarriornation.com. Put attention pilots. And if we get any information from anybody watching tonight or in the future that can help you, I will surely and gladly pass that on.
Thank you, Mike. But here's the reason why I decided to do it myself. And it is really simple, because I called around. I talked to lawyers. And I have an acquaintance lawyer who told me flat out, he says, you know what, forget about it. I am even advising my clients not to file any lawsuits related to this pandemic. Anything, whether it's the jabbing or the masks or whatever, don't even bother with it. And I've contacted a couple other lawyers, basically flat out. Nobody wants to touch it. They just don't want to touch it. So, and I don't know why. But they don't want to touch it. It seems that they're under some sort of a spell as well. And I don't know what it is. Maybe the bar associations are telling them, hey, don't do anything. We don't want to do anything about this. We just let it slide, let it go. I don't know. But, and that's why, mainly why I decided I'm not going to wait. I can't keep looking because everybody's telling me, no, we can't do it. They come up with excuses like, my schedule doesn't allow me to take your case or whatever, but I know the deal. They don't want to do it.
Gotcha. Let me ask Jeff this question. I pulled it out of chat. It says, any idea for the approximate percentage of pilots that are finally standing up like you guys? Do you guys have a big group? Is it a small group? Are there other pilots across the nation that are joining the front lines?
That's a good question. It's difficult to answer that in my company. I'd have to venture a guess, because there are those that were compelled and remorse. They went out and they got the shot because the pressure of losing their job was on the line. Like Bahij, I would rather have been fed in my body and take that chance. I'm no good to my family dead, even with a life insurance policy. So it was a lot of people that were put in that very precarious. So we're still recruiting people to come back. You know, even though they do that, they can still stand up and say no more and fight with us. But to put an example, many are there, it's pretty difficult. I'd say there's more than we think, just like there's more people that's going on than a lot of people think. There's a lot of disinformation in terms of the number that comes out on the news, right? They try to persuade you one way or the other. We're going to lose the race, so don't even go vote, that type of stuff. I think there's far more patriotism than, we're led to believe. We just need to open our eyes. I think we'll find more than we think are out there. America.org. I see that Tracy Q is posting it in the comments. I business card if you want me to hold that up for people to see. It's civic duty. We've got to do our jobs. I don't know. I can't.
Absolutely. Tracy can keep dropping it there in chat. And I saw a question in chat. Can we share this out? Please share this out. If you guys are listening to us tonight on Facebook, share this out on your Facebook if you guys possibly can. Put attention, pilots in the fight, pilots fighting back. Share this out. Like Jeff said, there's probably more pilots out there that are in the same situation and feeling alone, and we need to get the word out to them that there's more pilots like them in the fight so that they can unite. So if you're a pilot out there, you're listening tonight, and you are standing up for your rights, listen, these two gentlemen right here would love to hear from you guys so that we can get a bigger army, so to speak. It's going to take each and every one of us doing our part to get this handled and get this done.
That's
correct. And sorry, Jeff.
I say the important part is that have buyer's remorse because they were coerced, and a lot of them are fearful medicals over this. Eventually, some of these injuries are going to come to fruition. Your job is on the line. It's a very difficult position to be in for the guys, and there's a global aviation community out there now that is pushing this. The pilots who got the jab, they're not going to be fit for flying. And my person's the last move to crush the airline industry in the Green New Deal. They have carbon footprints. And the airline is the last one that makes the last. And if they can just strip the pilots out of the industry, well, guess what? There's no more industry. And
you're right.
terms of how people can help, I did see a comment about how they can help. America.org. Of course, donations are always accepted, but in these times where people, if you have talents, if you have skills, if you run a business that can contribute, printing, press, anything can help. Okay, it's going to be the blood, sweat, and tears of the Americans that recover and resurrect this republic over the money. And if you read debt anyway, so let's use our American muscle to take this country back, rather than passing around the debt from the Federal Reserve Bank.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
I got one last final question for the both of you, and then we'll roll into final thoughts for the night. I'd like to know if you guys know anything, have heard anything, if you guys seen anything on the TSA docket that just came out. I think it was about a week ago, maybe it was around 2 weeks ago. It was created in 2012, and it talks about TSA officers or TSA personnel having to go through emergency training for continuity of government, and that could mean several different things. But we're curious if you guys have any contacts, anybody in your airlines or your circles have talked about it, or maybe you know some of them who've actually gone through the training. Is there anything that you guys can update us on that particular subject? And if you don't know, you don't know. But I was just curious if you guys have heard anything.
I haven't heard any details about that or really what it is all about, but I haven't heard myself.
I did see the published, and we all have the same questions. What does this mean? What is? I read through a little bit of it, but it started getting kind of boring. It was talking about etc. Our interface at our level with TSA is strictly through security. Have any upper level or bigger picture of what their job is. Perhaps this is some when you talk about continuity, emergency continuity, there's going to be some sort of changeover of leadership. I mean, generally when you talk about continuity, you're talking group into the next group so that there's no abrupt changes to policies or divergence from policies so that people get lost from one day to the next, not knowing changed. Other than that, I mean, that's speculative in my opinion on it. I'd have to read the doc to see if there's anything more to it than just an announcement. I'm not sure.
Absolutely. Thanks for the input there, Jeff. Still breaking up a little bit, but I'd sure like to have you guys back on. There was some comments in chat about trying to get a hold of Stu Peters, get you guys on Stu Peters' show. I wish Stu Peters watched LWN because I'd love to set you guys up with Stu Peters. And maybe that's the next move on your guys' part is try to reach out to some other influencers out there with a bigger audience than I have to try to get your message out and to be heard, so that maybe more people would be able to offer you some legal advice or even legal help. So that's a great way to maybe end the night for me, is to just say, hey, if there's anybody out there listening tonight, anybody that can help these two gentlemen out, please reach out to us, and then we'll roll into final thoughts. I'll let Jeff go first. And again, I'm going to talk to Denise and see if we can't get you guys back on again. I'd like to get a little bit deeper into your stories here on YouTube. I know we did it in Podbean, but I don't know if enough people heard the story on Podbean. We have a little bit of a different audience here on YouTube. So we'll see if we can't schedule you guys to come back on again, and we'll work on that audio so that it's crystal clear for everybody to hear everything that you guys have to say. Jeff, if you wouldn't mind going first tonight, and thank you so much for standing up and being a patriot, a true American. What is your final thought that you'd like to leave tonight with the audience, knowing either about you, about the cause that you're part of, or is there something that you'd like to say to them to encourage them to stand up and help? Go ahead, sir.
Well, thanks everybody for showing up and listening to our story. We're just two regular guys, and we're like everyone else out there. So don't be afraid to stand up. Everybody has to stand back. If you comply, then you give this tyrannical government and evil all the power they're looking for. When you say no, everything that they've done up to this point has been illegal and unlawful. It's the fact that you went along with it that gave them the power that they've wielded. So don't relent, stay in the fight, and keep pushing back. Local areas to join any groups that are freedom oriented, patriots. I mean, everything. Look up. We've talked about the .org. That's for everybody and anybody who wants to be involved can to that type of organization. The more people we have, the more that we can accomplish. That's all we can do at this point, because every day they keep trying to stop our move. Don't be afraid. Just move forward, and we'll get through this together.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, and to all of you guys waiting for the news. Stay with me here. We're wrapping it up, and I'll give you guys the news. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. So just stick with us for a few more minutes. I'm going to bring Tammy in here in a minute, and we'll give you guys the great news that we want to share with you guys tonight. Captain, your final thought for tonight.
I can't top what Jeff just said. I can only repeat what I said earlier, that we are all essential. No matter how small the part you play is extremely important. And shed that fear. I've said that on the podcast before with you, Mike, and I'm going to say it again. Mm-hmm. Shed the fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? If you get up in the morning tomorrow, you're doing good. You're ahead of the game already. You're alive. And you really want to be alive? Do something. Do something and leave that fear behind. You will be alive. You will feel it. And that's very, very extremely important. I can't stress that anymore. I could talk about it probably an hour, but Jeff said it really well. And I do have one more thing to say, and that is, we're talking about airline pilots, but this concerns every pilot, private pilots, flight instructors, students. They're all under attack by the corporations to take authority away from their medical certificate, because that's what they want. They want to take control of your decisions. So you can't stand up and say, hey, I'm not going to do that. No way. You're a thorn in their side now. So if they get rid of you, like they're trying to do to me, they're one step ahead. So early learning by pilots is very, very important. They need to learn that they have authority over their medical and nobody else does. And in that regard, and in my fight against my airline, I put together something that every pilot can sign. It's a declaration stating that they do have authority over their FAA-issued medical certificate, and nobody else does. And this is part of my documents that I am introducing into court to show the company that I'm not the only one who interprets the regulations the way they're written. There are hundreds of pilots, thousands of pilots who read them, understand them the same way that I do. And I've been doing this for 37 years. Never once I had somebody tell me, hey, you got to drink this, or you got to eat this, or you can't breathe that. Otherwise, your pilot certificate is not good. No way. That's never happened. This is just extremely, extremely wrong, and it has to be corrected. And I can provide you with that text, Mike.
Absolutely.
And, put it
Absolutely.
up and have them.
I don't know if the last time that you guys were on, if we talked about maybe putting you in contact with the Affidavit Mamas. They're a great resource, and they know a lot of people. So if you guys wouldn't mind, reach out to Denise either tonight or tomorrow or whenever you got time, and allow her to put you in contact with the Affidavit Mamas, because they're a great resource and they're in this fight as well. And I'd sure like to link you guys together. And, I don't know if we talked about that last time. I don't know if Affidavit Mamas sent you guys our direction, but these documents that you're speaking of, maybe we need to get the Affidavit Mamas back on here with you guys. I know it's been a long time since we've had this conversation. So, share it with me. I'll drop the link, and we'll get the word out and try to get more people involved in this fight with the airlines.
Yeah, sure.
We're both familiar
Deborah
with
and
okay. All right. Yeah. I thought so.
I remember. Yeah, Deborah.
That's a great
Rose,
connection.
It is a great connection.
Create.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'd like to throw one more category of people in the medical, and that's the air traffic codes that require medical certificate, something that's kind of under the radar. They need to be in the radar. They're just as essential.
Oh, it's true.
I mean, if you got somebody who falls asleep at the radar in Atlanta, you got planes, you got a hornet's nest of airplanes.
That's not a good deal.
They need to be involved just as heavily as we are. So if anybody out there is an air traffic, get them connected into this movement with us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure yet again. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on LWN. We will be in contact. Like I said, let's try to schedule you guys to come back on here real soon, and we'll dive deeper into some of the content, some of your guys' stories, so people understand how serious this is. And this is a different audience here on YouTube. So I will invite you guys back, and we'll get you on here real soon. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Having us.
No, thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, guys, the moment you've all been waiting for. I want to just thank the captain and Jeff for joining us tonight. So this is just going to be a little bit of an afterglow. Let's just call it that. Let me bring Tammy out here.
Hey,
Tammy. All
how's
right.
it going?
Well, it's going well. Obviously, you just got done watching us with the pilots, and what a great two pair of guys who are just really standing up for this fight. And it really ties into what we're about to announce tonight, because I think it's going to launch us and put us in a different category of influencers and networks. And I think, if these pilots will just stay the course and we continue to have these conversations, I believe there's opportunity for where we're getting ready to head, to maybe put them in contact with some of the people that they so desperately need help from. So with that being said, before I give the news, I got to do something else real quick. All right. I promised everybody something. And I want to just say thank you to everybody tonight, because, man, before the show started, it was just, the board was just absolutely lighting up. And so let me catch it real quick. All right. To Linda, thank you so much for the coffees that you bought. Linda Roark, I hope I said your last name properly. To Patty Bowling, thank you for the coffee you bought. She says, I'm excited. Let's get the party started. Well, the party's just getting ready to get started. I'm telling you. And then there was someone else that bought coffees that says, love LWN. Thank you so much. Orange Tractor Gal, thank you for your coffees. She says, thanks so much for all you do. Hugs. Here's another one. CV, thank you for the coffee. She said 5 for Mike and 5 for Tammy. Have a great show. There you go, Tammy.
Oh, yay. I got some. Hey,
they're sharing the love.
right.
Another one says, hey, Mike, Tammy, you are my family. My quote, Jesus is my savior. DJT is my president. All right. Love that one. Debbie Golden, thank you for the coffee. She says, worth more than a coffee, love LWN. Thank you so much. Like I said, they were just blowing up. It was crazy. Gerald Cummings, thank you so much. He says, caution, LWN has been spotted in the area. Truth, love, peace, and understanding could break out at any moment. All right. So there you go. I told everybody that I would say thank you at the end of the show. I wanted to make sure I did that, because I do appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you, Lily J, for the membership. 4 months. Lily J has been a member of LWN for 4 months. We had one the other night that was 9 months. 9 months. A membership for 9 months. We had another one earlier tonight. I said thank you. It's Patrick L. Thank you for the membership. Appreciate it. Okay, so here we go. All right. Listen, good vibes. I want everybody to have good vibes, because I'm telling you right now, the announcement that we're going to give you guys is so exciting, and we're going to take you guys along with us It's going to be an amazing journey, and the journey hasn't even started yet, but it's getting ready to kick off. So, Tammy, I'm going to jump in here. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say it was a great show with the pilots. I love them. They're very brave. And if you stay the course, like you said, Mike, you get rewarded by God in the end. You follow the path, your passion that God puts you on. And everybody has one, right? So if you're paying attention to God, you're paying attention to your passion, you're going to get where you need to be. And I think that what is happening with LWN is amazing, Mike. And I think it's a godsend. It's a God thing. And it's because we've stayed the course. We've stayed the course on what God wanted us to do. We've taken a lot of hits left and right, sideways, all kinds of ways. But we kept facing forward. We kept trusting God. We kept true to the mission that you started way back a year or so ago, Mike, with a man in his laptop. You had a mission in mind. It's a part of this God-loving country movement, grassroots movement that you want to be a part of and that we are all a part of. This family that we have built is amazing. So I believe that God has said, you know what, you guys, you've made it through the mud. You've made hard and tough decisions, but you've stayed the course and stayed the path. So here is the reward. So go ahead and tell them what the reward is, Mike.
All right. I received an email Friday, and thank you, Red. He says, how many coffees would it take to get LW to take his shirt off? I would say how many coffees would it take to keep the shirt on? Okay. Only Red would say something like that. I received an email Friday. And boy, this is exciting, from Mike Lindell's team. All right. Of course, everybody knows Mike Lindell supports LWN. Yes, we do sponsor MyPillow and MyPillow's products. But they reached out to us, and we are on Frank Speech, which is amazing. So the pilots will also be uploaded on Frank Speech. But they sent me an email, and in the email, they have chosen LWN along with other influencers to be invited to go to the Truth Summit. Now, Mike Lindell dropped the big news this weekend in Alaska. He let everybody know that the Truth Summit is actually happening in Missouri. So all those coffees that you guys bought for us tonight will go toward the traveling expenses to get to Missouri. It is August the 20th and 21st. We are going there to watch a movie, which I believe is going to be the second phase of taking down everything that happened in November of 2020. Tammy, I'm going to let you jump in here because I know you're super excited.
Well, I am so excited because you guys, this is a big deal. To be invited, this is a private closed event, okay? The venue's private and all of that. It is Selection Code, I believe, is the name of the video. It's the second part of what Mike had just said it was. And what's going to happen is we're going to be there with other influencers, and they're going to give us some information, and they're going to let us see that. So we are going to be able to network. We're going to be able to meet these other influences are there. And to me, it takes, I believe it's taking LWN to a different level because we are bringing you guys along as well. So Mike is right. When it comes to the coffees, every single coffee that you donate, that money goes directly to supporting this channel so we can do stuff like this because everybody is volunteers. It does cost money to go out there and stuff. It is free once we're there. But this is such a huge, big deal because it's not like this is a blanket invite to every influencer out there. You have to be selected and you have to be, what do you call, where you have to be, what is that called, Mike, where he's got to make sure that we're A-okay and we're legit.
Oh, background check.
Background checks and stuff.
Check.
Woo! I can't even think about that. But the thing is, it's so exciting and it's a wonderful thing. And this is another step forward and another progression for LWN because we told you guys, our goal is to get out there, get at these events and do this sort of thing so we can bring you up to the minute things that are going on in this country, across this country. So it takes a lot of money to do that, but this is a good step forward first. And this is a good step to, like I said, network and meet people. And it is thrilling. We are going to also broadcast. We can't from inside the event, but Mike, Mike, it's like, okay, let's do this now. It might be 2 a.m. and he's knocking on the doors like, okay, I got to go live. But that's the fun of it. We are so excited. We are thrilled. We are blessed. And it's a great honor and I'm so excited for this, for Mike, for this family. And I tell you guys, I can barely talk and sleep these days just because it is bigger and better than anything we could imagine.
Well, let me address the chat. I want to thank everybody in chat, and I want to thank everybody watching, because really you guys helped us get to this point. Every time you hit the like button, every time you subscribe, if you guys haven't subscribed, I'd subscribe, because I'm telling you right now, while we're there in Missouri, there will be some lives that we'll do. And I don't know what time of day or night we're going to do them. It's whenever we have the time. I'm actually putting a team together to go to Missouri. And we're going to be able to do some amazing things. And some people, maybe this isn't such a thrilling thing for them, but I want to tell you guys something. Listen, we are going to an event with the top influencers of the nation: Steve Bannon, Stu Peters. And I'm name dropping for a reason. David Harris Jr., Diamond and Silk, the Hodge twins, Mike Lindell himself. If you don't think that's big news, maybe this isn't the channel for you, because what that does is it puts us in the same category as those amazing patriots and those amazing professionals. We're no longer going to be swimming in the swamp of YouTube and getting involved in any of the drama that's out there. We're actually going to be going somewhere and reporting the news. So what we're going to do is be able to be the first ones to watch this video. But what I was told in the email is also, after we leave this convention, we're going to have the resources of Mike Lindell, his team, and this group, and they're also going to be feeding us. Listen to this. This is key. They're going to be feeding LWN and the other influencers that are at this event information pertaining to the things that are going to start happening. And we're going to be the voice of America, one of the voices of America. So if you don't want to miss any of the stuff after August 21st, that's going to start going out. You might be able to catch it on another influencer, and that's fine. But if you want to catch it here at LWN, you're going to need to subscribe because I don't know what time we're going to be going on for some of this stuff. Share it out. Share this channel out. Encourage your family and friends to start watching, because some of the news that's going to come out of this event is going to be jaw-dropping. We were told 10 times bigger than the 2K donkey itself. So if you want that information, just be part of LWN. That's all it takes. It doesn't require anything else. Just be here when you can, share it out when you can, like, subscribe. If you want to become a member, that's great. We love you guys for sponsoring us that way as well. But I'm telling you, I'm jacked the hell up. And I am putting an amazing, and I'm telling you guys, okay, I'm putting together an amazing team, and I have already sent the invites out. And I can tell you this, if the ones that I invited answer the call to go to this event, it's going to be one heck of an amazing team. And one of the people is a fan favorite. And I guarantee you're not going to want to miss this person. Well, actually, two of them are fan favorites.
I was going to say, Mike,
two of them are fan favorites. Matter of fact, I plan on taking some photos of making a T-shirt of the two of them being together.
Yes.
for sure. There's going to be some photos going out that you guys aren't going to want to miss. So follow us on all the platforms. You know, TikTok, Truth Social. If you guys aren't on Truth Social yet, Truth Social's blowing up. We're almost going to hit 1,500 subscribers on True Social. You can find us there at Liberty Warrior Nation. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok, Liberty Warrior Nation. I know Travis, thank you so much for streaming us live tonight. He's trying to help build our subscriptions up on TikTok. I mean, we're everywhere. We're on Rumble. We're here. We're on Frank's Speech. This is a great time to be alive. We are going to bring you guys so much stuff that it's going to blow your mind.
Well, and I want to add this too, Mike. This is validation for LWN. So all the naysayers or doubters that think, we spew garbage or whatever, they have a right to that opinion. But this does validate. They vet these channels. They watch. These people watch. So for us to even get invited, to me, is validation for LWN. They know we're trying to put the truth out there. We're not trying to knock anybody. We're just trying to educate people. We're trying to unify the country. We're doing our part as patriots in this grassroots movement. We hear all the time, do what you can do. And darn it, we've stuck to that, Mike, through hell and high water, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. Through a lot of unjustified, brutal beatings we've taken for things that weren't true, et cetera, et cetera. But the time for that is gone. We are now out of the muck of all of that, and we are going to work our tails off to make sure that we do all our viewers in this country and God proud. And I'm thrilled. I think this is amazing, and it is a really big deal. I don't care what anybody says. It's a huge deal.
And we still have more good news to share here real soon. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. So there's going to be some really good news coming up very soon. Now, as far as the team goes, I'm still waiting to get confirmation back from Mike Lindell's team to make sure that it's a green light and everything is a go. As soon as the team commits to me, and I have to have a full commitment from each member of the team. And as soon as they give me that full commitment, then I will definitely let you guys know who the team is that's going to be going to this event with me. And I'm telling you guys, there will be lives. We're going to be shows. I heard somebody say, can we go with you guys? Absolutely. We're going to take you guys with us. We're going to do lives there in the city, in Missouri. I believe it's in Springfield, Missouri. So we'll be doing lives there. The entire team will be there. We'll do the lives. And, I see a lot of people in the chat, and I'm not going to make any promises, okay? But I seen, I think it was Tennessee Ridge Runner made comment that he's close, or a few people said they're close. It's Springfield, Missouri. And I'll do my very best to see if we can't maybe do some type of get together while we're there for anybody who's close enough that may want to come see us.
Yes.
So I can't guarantee that. I'll just say that we'll work on it and we'll keep you guys informed. So, hey, it's been hard to sleep for the last couple of nights since Friday, and I've been busting my butt to try to get everything in place. So we could give everybody this notice and this news, but for all the other stuff that we're working on, this catapults LWN into a league way above where we started, and I'm pretty proud of that. And when you start talking about right side broadcasting, hopefully Liberty Warrior Nation is going to be right there standing next to him with cameras doing the exact same type of broadcast. So I'm really hoping to take this thing all the way to the very top. And thank you guys so much for being part of it. Thank you, Lisa Bowman, for your membership. I appreciate it. So Tammy, I don't know. I could stay on here all night long and talk about this stuff. It's truly a blessing from God. And that's the other thing. And I apologize because first of all, we got to give God all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. To God be the glory, because honestly, like Tammy says, we could have thrown the towel in a long time ago, but God gave us strength, gave us the courage, and this is his path for LWN. So without God, we're nothing. And through Jesus Christ, we can do all things. So I am just, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Well, and that's good. Well, this, like I said, Mike, this one's a closed event. This is a special Mike Lindell premier for influencers. But there are some other things that we're working on coming down the road that are public events. You know, there's these different rallies, there's these different events that influencers have. So you know what? We want to be out there. So we'll see what we can do, you guys. We're going to do the best we can do. I can guarantee you we will give 110% to be out there and as much as we can and do what we can, you guys. We want to meet each and every one of you. It'd be a blast to be hitting the road and meeting you guys. And, you know, maybe down the road we'll be able to do that. But we, you know, everything's starting somewhere. So this is the start. And boy, what a heck of a start this is. I mean, it's just, you know, it's so funny because
it's about a week late. It's about a week late. We needed fireworks. We needed these fireworks back on the 4th of July, you know,
well,
but that's okay.
Hey.
I want to say thank you to to Lily J for the coffees. They say thanks for all you do, and of course Ruth Fulmer. She says congratulations to Mike and Tammy. So thank you so much for the congratulations. We are we're going in the right direction. That's for sure.
Hello America said, Mike, don't wear shoes, wear the pillow slippers 100% of the time. Trust me. And you do like his slippers.
I do like the slippers.
I know you really
like
do.
Slippers.
But it is. And you know what, you guys, we promise you it'll be a good time out there for you guys too. Since we can't really have you there inside with us, we'll bring you with us by just doing, even if we pop on for 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whenever we have time. It's really not that hard to do. And we want to share as much of it as possible with you guys, definitely. So I'm really looking forward to it. This, to me, you know, we always talk, Mike, how fast time flies. To me, this is going to drag till it's time to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be the opposite.
It'll be here quick. I see a lot of questions in chat. Are we going to be at any of the other events? Yes. I have been invited to other rallies and other events. It just, timing was off, but now the timing is right. It's all in God's timing. So yes, I'm going to plan on being at quite a few of the other events, and we'll be streaming those live as we're there. I'm working on trying to get equipment as well. I've asked for some help in trying to find the right equipment package, so that when we're at these events live streaming, I'm not trying to do it with my cell phone. So yes, I do plan on being at some of these other events, and I'm sure once we go to this one, more than likely, as long as God is willing and it's God's plan, I'm sure we'll get invited to a lot more of the other events as well. So you may see us at a city near you here before too long. LWN at any of these rallies. And don't forget, midterms are around the corner. Things are heating up. So we'll get invites to that. And then, you know, regardless of what happens between now and 2024, if there is a campaign trail of 2023 going into the 2024 elections, you betcha I'm going to be there.
You betcha you're not leaving me behind. I'll come hanging on to your coattails there, mister. It's just exciting times. And you know what, Mike? Like I said, there's nothing wrong with celebrating this and being happy about this. You've worked really hard from the beginning, from your dreams. And I want to tell people out there and encourage you that if you follow your dreams, no dream is too big. If it's God's path and it's your true path and your passion, it'll happen. People laughed at us at the beginning. Some people and like, oh, that's never going to happen, or this or that, naysayers. Well, I'm just saying, look what can happen. Don't listen to them. People say that for many reasons. Stay positive, eyes forward, stay true to what's in your heart, and do good. And good things will come. Be a dreamer. That's how this world changes. That's how the inventions develop. That's how we have all these great, and you look at all the people that were creative back in the day, that the inventors and stuff, they thought they were crazy. And you know what? I'll be called crazy any time of the day if I can experience this kind of stuff and share it.
Crazy.
So call me crazy.
I am institutional crazy, and that's okay. So listen, folks, we probably ought to run. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know you guys wanted to get the news 2 days ago and earlier in the night, but I wanted to give the pilots their time to be able to get their message out, and I appreciate them showing up tonight. And then to save this for the end of the night, I just Was really excited to share this with you guys. And, you know, the sky's the limit. And chin up,
Yes.
stand tall. We're going to get through this. That's really all I have for my final thought for tonight, Tammy.
Yep. And my final thought is, you know what? Just stay the course, everybody. Stay positive. Stay in prayer. We will get to the other side of this, and it's going to be one heck of a good side. So I think we've crossed that boundary. You know what? So here we go. Hang on to your
The best is
hats.
yet to come.
Yes,
the best
absolutely.
is yet to come. Please like, please subscribe, and more importantly, please share this out. That's how we got here, is by you guys helping us in that way. So thank you guys so much. God bless.
Yes.
Love y'all. Catch you
Bye.
tomorrow. See you, Tammy.
Bye.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. Can you tell me the secret of how you can take it or leave it? How you can blend in with the crowd? I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. When it feels like everyone's out to get me, I see the river on the bank.